Welcome to TMZ Live. We have received another email from the man claiming that he knows who the kidnappers are in the Nancy Guthrie case, and he has given more detail than ever as to what information he will provide in return for 1 Bitcoin.
And he's provided the kind of information. He's basically described where this information can be found if he gets this Bitcoin. We've said this before, every time we get another one of these.
From the same guy.
From the same guy. And we always can authenticate it's the same guy because he's using the Bitcoin address, the same Bitcoin address, which we've never, ever published anywhere. So that's the only place.
It is the same guy. So look, he says a bunch of things. We're going to give you the highlights. Number one, he says that I am not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. Only 2 are directly involved, and I doubt they would be the ones calling to snitch on themselves.
So his point being, those 2 people who are involved, they're not going to put that tip there. They're the only ones who actually know where Nancy's body can be found.
So he's saying he is not the person who sent in that recent tip. However, I will tell you that several emails ago, he said that she was taken to Mexico. And he also said there were multiple kidnappers and a main kidnapper. Here, this is the first time he said the number 2.
Right.
So we now know there are 2 if he's to be believed at all. And believe me, we're going to get into that. So he says this. He says, I have a phone stashed in a secure location, guaranteeing both the information it stores and the safety of the phone. What it contains is my definition of delivering on a silver platter. So he's saying he has a phone with information. He goes on to say that he says that there is, quote, a short video of the main guy with Nancy the day that was probably her last. And that's critical. I mean, he's now saying, I have a short video, and it will show you not just Nancy, but her main kidnapper. And
that image is obviously priceless, especially to the FBI and especially to Savannah and her family.
Not priceless to him. He has a price, and the price is 1 Bitcoin. So he is saying that if he gets 1 Bitcoin, he will lead authorities to where this phone is. It is currently, he says, turned off, that it is in a secure location, but in a place that is easy to access once you know where to look. And he will supply the password, and he is asking for 1 Bitcoin.
Now, what's also interesting is that he clearly has been keeping up on the news, is responding because we talked about it this week. But he says that these kidnappers are onto him, that he has basically been on the run from them, and he's very much concerned for his own safety at this point.
So, look, we have obviously forwarded this like we did the others to the FBI, and they have acknowledged receiving it, and they are looking into it. I spoke with somebody from the FBI a couple of days ago who said, and this really surprised me because they had gone radio silent on us about this guy for about a month, but they called me back a couple of days ago and said that they had a lead on who this person might be and that they did not want us to do a documentary or anything like that because we had even offered, look, maybe we'll pay the Bitcoin, do a documentary, see where it leads, and obviously work with you. They told us, stand down. We're working on that right now.
We're working on it, and that they felt that they were getting closer to this person.
So, look, it is really confusing because on the one hand, they seem to have spent a lot of time trying to find this person. On the other hand, a Bitcoin is worth about $60,000.
I think less than that now, but yeah.
A little less.
Yeah.
And so why not roll the dice? And so we put a social media post out because he seems to be watching all this stuff and said, look, we don't know if you're a fraudster or not. Give us something, a screen grab of Nancy Guthrie.
And this is how you know that he is watching all of this, because within an hour of that post going up on social media, he sent another email explaining that he is not going to do that. And the reason he's not going to do that, send a screen grab or take any photo, said, I don't want to go to the phone. If I turn it on and I take a photo, or there's metadata that comes along with that photo. If I give you a screen grab of the image that's actually on the phone, there's metadata that's involved there. So anything that I send you like that can be traced.
So we don't know. I mean, look, we don't know. The thing is, we can't get in touch with this guy directly. His emails don't work. And I know that the FBI has tried as well. And as far as we know, they've not been able to crack that. So it would seem that if the FBI really wanted to pay that, the only way they can do it is if they called us and said, look,
they could put, they have the Bitcoin
They have
address.
the Bitcoin, well, they have the Bitcoin because he gave us a new Bitcoin address,
Yes.
but we sent him the email with that.
Right.
So they have
it, and they could put the money in.
But then who's he going to contact?
What do you mean?
Who's he going to send the information to?
He can do the same thing. He can send an anonymous email.
To?
Well, it would have to come. I mean, the FBI, does the FBI have an anonymous tip line?
I don't know.
They must. The FBI has an anonymous tip line.
So I don't know.
So he could send it either to the FBI or to us.
Yeah, I don't know where he would. And again, this is what's so puzzling, that the family was willing to pay $1 million, and, you know, the ransom demand was $4 and then $6 million. And this is $60,000. And the fact that they're not paying really makes you question the authenticity of this guy.
Right.
On the other hand, why is the FBI spending so much time trying to figure out who this guy is? So honestly, we just don't know. We're telling you what we know, but we cannot close the loop on this thing.
Hi, Jordan from Kansas. You know, what stands out to me is Nancy Guthrie has been missing for over 4 months. And now this guy wants to come forward and say, hey, for 1 Bitcoin, I can get you to that phone. I have video evidence of it. It just sounds like a cat and mouse game, and it sounds like he's a fraudster.
Maybe.
And maybe that's what the FBI is thinking also. Maybe, but...
But then why are they trying to find him so much?
Right.
And why are they telling us, no, don't do that. We're in the middle of it. So that's what's so confusing.
All right. Fair to say that we are definitely out of our milieu here.
Milieu.
To borrow the French phrase. But we're going to talk fashion. Taylor Swift fashion.
I'm right in that lane.
Oh, you're on top of this?
Right in that lane.
Look, we all know that the wedding is going to go down next week, most likely. I say most likely because really they could get married anytime between right now and next Friday, when we know that the...
And by the way, I'm not going to say it, but...
Mm-hmm. I know.
We're on to something that we're not ready to talk about yet. Just wanted to say that.
Yes, but the talk now is, now that everyone is convinced, all right, the wedding is about to happen, what is Taylor going to wear? And there are some...
A dress?
Yes, Harvey, a dress. This is why Charlie's here to help us, because we don't know what we're talking about.
Don't worry, guys. I got you.
But there's going to be multiple dresses, as you would expect.
Yes.
I think that's common now for even non-billionaire
Totally. Not
brides.
uncommon, but I think the key here is who is going to design her dress, because Taylor Swift can have any designer, and she's going back to the basics. And what I mean by that is she's going with somebody or 2 people that she's worked with over the years. Laura Kim and Fernando Garcia.
Oh, God, yeah.
They are the co-creative directors
Remember
of
the last?
Oscar de la Renta. But also they worked with Taylor on different outfits that she's been wearing out recently. They also have a line called Monse, and Taylor's been seen recently wearing Monse dresses. So there's all these breadcrumbs that these are the people that she's hired to do several dresses. By the way, the general cost for a wedding dress by Oscar de la Renta, of course, she can pay anything.
Let me guess.
General custom wedding dress.
$22,000.
No, way higher. I'm going to go 600,000.
Okay, not that much, Charles. That's crazy.
All right.
$40K for a custom wedding dress by
What a
Oscar
waste
de la
of money.
Renta.
What a waste of money. I'm sorry. You're
40K
only
is
going to
not-
wear a wedding dress maybe twice or 3 times in your life.
No, actually,
Hey guys, I'm KD. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm so happy for Taylor. She deserved this moment. She has been through everything between the breakup song. She deserves this big wedding. But what I can say is, I want to know who's designing the dresses too. Like 6 dresses, that is a major thing. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, major
just
bank.
to piggyback.
She's got major bank.
How many? By the way, I
don't
guarantee
think-
you can go onto a prediction market for how many dresses she's going to wear. The chat says 3, you said?
They think a beginning, a dance outfit, and then like a closing ceremony kind of thing.
Closing ceremony like the Olympics?
But hold on, but
Like fireworks, the walkout.
But the wild card here is that the wedding, their marriage, is not necessarily going to be the
On the
same
same
as
day.
the reception. Like the reception is Friday.
It's not going to be this. I just don't think it's going to be the same day.
No, I don't think so either. So there could be even more dresses than that.
Oh, but we're on to something that we're looking at.
Coming up, we have a new Sandoval. This one does not involve cheating, though. It involves.
By the way, he's the victim.
Right. It involves violence, physical violence. He has now gotten a restraining order against Victoria and her father after a very violent night, some of which was caught on camera.
Be right back.
We have a new Sandoval. This one does not involve cheating, though. It involves.
By the way, he's the victim.
Right. It involves violence, physical violence. Tom Sandoval and his now ex-girlfriend Victoria had been living together, and Victoria's father was also living with them.
This is in the Hollywood Hills.
A rented house, a house that Tom was renting in the Hollywood Hills. But he has now gotten a restraining order against Victoria and her father after a very violent night, some of which was caught on camera. Now,
And by the way, a violent night that got Victoria in cuffs.
right, because she ended up being arrested for allegedly assaulting Tom. He had produced some photos that showed the bruises on his face, to his ear, after the attack. Now, what led up to the attack was a heated conversation between Tom and Victoria that was partially recorded on a security camera in the home.
So you're going to see the father here.
So Tom is on the left in black there. He is arguing with Victoria, and at one point gets very upset because he believes that she is recording him, and that's when things blow up.
That is not what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. I go, came out with that. Yeah, I just straight up said that? Are you kidding me? You're living in your own dream, man. Because I know what I know. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that. Are you recording me right now? 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 Are you recording me?
So just so you know,
That's a fire pit.
So
that
he
ended
fell.
up.
The father fell in the fire pit, but that's not Tom's fault because you saw the father
grabbed him first.
Pushed Tom first. Tom's reaction was a reasonable reaction. So even though he landed in the fire pit, the dad started this. He was the aggressor, but ultimately, Tom Sandoval is the victim here.
So
there's no
what
doubt.
happened when they run in the house, according to Tom, in what he filed in his restraining order, the father, Tom ran in the house, went into a guest bedroom, closed the door, locked the door, and he says that the father then punched a hole. Look at that hole that he punched through the door.
By the way, that is crazy. When you
Yeah.
look at that, I mean, maybe it's a cheap door, but still.
It kind of feels like The Shining because Tom says the father stuck his head through the door and threatened him, said that I'm going to mess you up.
Here's Johnny.
Did not say, not exactly that.
I have spoken to people that have known them from the beginning of this relationship, which has been quite some time, and they have said it's always been like up and down. And even in his declaration in the court document, he said there were he mentions incidents of past abuse. This relationship has been extremely toxic from what I have been told over the last few months. So this is just, we're only seeing.
What's your first clue?
We're only seeing one of
Incident
months
here, yeah.
of build up to this. Yeah.
Boy, he he has trouble with relationships.
Our chat says, like, maybe there's a lot of trauma in reality TV. Maybe the recording, like, triggered something in him, that he's been through a lot that you don't never know.
Yeah, no,
what can
it
set
is
someone
weird
off.
that he's saying,
That he was
you're
so-
recording me. Although, I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess if
I
you're
guess he would be on
edge.
on edge about that type of thing.
Yeah.
Having.
But what was the argument that led
Yeah, what
up
was
to
the
them
argument
recording?
leading-
That is what we're trying to figure out. I think we're close to figuring it out, but I think generally speaking, it was an explosion of multiple feelings and multiple things, but I think we're close on figuring out maybe something that was bothering Victoria that Tom wasn't there for.
Got it.
So at this point, by the way, Victoria and her father have got a court order to move out of the home. And
I mean, honestly, if I were Tom,
I don't know why they
he's not a
want-
Tom's not a landlord. As far as I'm concerned, Tom could take all their junk and throw it out in the front lawn and change the lock. He's not a landlord.
Hi, my name is Soel, and I'm from Arizona. And from watching that, I mean, Tom obviously looks like the aggressor, but Victoria is also an aggressor and has been problematic in the past. So they just seem extremely toxic to me. I do feel like the dad was valid for intervening because, I mean, Tom was in Victoria's face. I mean, what dad wouldn't? But, I mean, pushing him into the fire pit, absolutely insane. These two need to break up, get away from each other, cut ties. This is just ridiculous.
Or they're going to get married.
or they end up getting married. Seen that before. So Benson Boone has a new music video out, and he, I think, chose his co-star in this music video quite wisely, Alex Earle. If you want to get some attention, some buzz around your music video, certainly she is a good candidate. And a lot of people think that there is more than just, this is not just a job for Alex Earle, or maybe it started out that way. They think that there's some chemistry here based on a kiss that happens at the end of the music video, by the way, is called The Time of My Life, reminiscent of?
It's a Shakespearean type thing.
No. Dirty Dancing. Anyway.
Oh.
It's a Dirty Dancing.
Oh, it's a
The Time of
song?
My- It's not,
But that's not the song.
It's not
It's
the
not the
song.
same
No,
song.
I said reminiscent of. But here is the moment
Well, I don't
in the
remember
video.
that in Dirty Dancing. I'm sorry.
Here is the moment that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems real to me, you guys.
Why? Why does that
They
seem real?
they
They're
are doing
acting.
a music video.
Exactly.
Alex Earle isn't inherently an actress. Like, I feel like I would not believe it. I feel like
That's
there's
what she was
something-
hired to
no,
do.
there's
Here's
something
why this is not believable. Because about 4 or 5 days ago, they decided to go to one restaurant in LA, which happens to be the only restaurant where there are always paparazzi. And they show up at the restaurant and they have dinner and they walk out and they are coy, is this a date? And he says no. And they scurry into the car.
Look, he opens the car for her. He opens the door
that's
for
whatever.
her.
They
That
went
doesn't-
to Craig's.
You don't
It's
do that
promotion.
for your friend.
Of course you do.
We have video of them out to dinner. He opens the door, and now I see them kissing on
They
camera.
went to Craig. It was all set up. He knew when the music
All
video
set
was
up.
coming out. So you go out with her,
It's all
and then you know the
set
music video is going to
up.
come out with the kiss.
Congratulations.
And so
Is this
everybody talks about it.
Is this just something you want?
You just got hooked.
Congratulations to the
So
happy
it's
couple.
it's something you want. It's so
Yes.
weird that you look at this and you think they're the right couple
They
for
are.
me to have them as a couple.
Perfect.
And then you say, okay, you're going to will them as a couple.
Perfect.
How's
That was
working out?
sarcastic.
No, I'm manifesting it, and it's coming true.
How many of these have you been successful at manifesting?
So far, none. But something has to be the first.
Coming up, our next guest is trying to set the world's record for the, how do I put this?
The biggest butt lift.
The biggest butt.
I see this as like customizing my character in a video game.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
So we have seen all sorts of gimmicks that OnlyFans models use to get more subscribers, to get more attention to make more money on the platform.
There have been virgins. There have been all sorts of things where people have kind of a lane or an angle.
Right. Well, our next guest is trying to set the world's record for the, how do I put this?
The biggest butt lift.
The biggest butt. Thickest, trying to be the thickest person. I don't even know if Guinness has a record for that, a standing record right now, but Mei Ling is making a lot of effort to get there. She has had 2 BBL surgeries up to this point.
Mind you, she is 19 years old.
19 years old. Had her first at 18 and is waiting to get her third. But before she can get that third, there are some conditions, at least from the doctor that she is working with. So joining us right now to talk about this is Mei Ling herself. Mei, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's nice meeting you. So I got to ask out of the gate. I mean, it's clear that this is going to be your thing on OnlyFans, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of alarming that you are now going for a third, and I'm curious, right from the jump, what are the doctors saying about this in terms of cautioning you?
Well, I go to the best doctor in the world. And so I just need to be having a healthy diet, lots of cardio, because it's the health of the heart conditions or the heart health that really matters. And I stay active. So, yeah, honestly, for my third BBL, I need to gain the weight because I've had a lot of lipo. So it would take a lot of weight to gain in order to make enough fat on my body.
So explain what the doctors have said to you. You need to gain 100 pounds from your current weight before you can have the third BBL. Explain why they've laid that condition down for you.
Because when you get lipo, you basically get rid of your fat cells in that body, that part of your body. And so gaining 10 pounds I'm not gonna have anything on the rest of my body where they remove the fat from. It'll go straight to my bottoms or up here.
So we should explain for people who don't know, the way the surgery works, you need to gain 100 pounds because they're going to take those fat cells out and then place them in your butt.
Yeah, and the surgery itself isn't what kills people. It's the recovery. People don't take it serious, and it's illegal to leave the DR, which is where I get my surgeries. It's illegal to leave for 2 weeks because recovery is that serious.
But there have been incidents in the United States as well.
That's usually because of the recovery process.
Right. So you're saying you go to the Dominican Republic to get your surgery done?
Yeah.
I've heard this described from other doctors we've spoken to and even people who've had BBLs. It is a very dangerous surgery. And I know what you're saying about the danger comes in the recovery because it's something called it's a fat pulmonary. The vessels in your butt are very susceptible to embolism, and that's what usually kills people during the recovery. You're using the same doctor. You've used the same doctor the first 2 times, and is that the plan for the third?
Yeah. Same doctor for everything.
Let me ask you something, and I am not trying to be disrespectful in this. It's just really kind of shocking to me. When doctors do this, especially over and over and then a third time, do they ever require you to speak, say, to a psychologist about why you're doing it and when to put the brakes on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've talked to a therapist. People might say that I'm really insecure about myself. I'm not. I love myself, but I see this as customizing my character in a video game. I see it like runway models losing weight to look a certain way, or bodybuilders eating massive amounts or intaking massive amounts of calories in order to be a bodybuilder. I see it the same way, and everything in life has a risk. But it's honestly your mentality. I think I see the positive in a lot of things and everything. And so, yeah, I'm just here to have a good time and have fun.
Well, I hope it remains safe, fun. May I have two practical questions for you? How you're paying for these? Is it paying off on OnlyFans? Are you getting more subscribers, and is that how you're able to pay for how you're planning to pay for the third surgery.
Yeah, I mean, it's revenue versus profits. It's all about investing. And so, you know, for the first one, I worked when I was 14 to 15 for years. I saved money because I grew up homeless. And so I wanted to put that away because I had a parent that wasn't responsible with money and felt like money was the root of all evil and didn't want to work for the system and would rather stay homeless and live in a car with her kids, you know? And so I chose that I wasn't going to do that with my life and I was going to be responsible.
Okay.
And so with the rise of OF, specifically in 2020, I saw it as a way to invest in myself and be able to actually make this a career. It's a business, you know? And so, yeah, it's a lot of investing at first, but I've only been doing this for a year. So, but yeah, I've seen the results. It works.
And then lastly, just looking at the photos, it would seem that, and we've heard people have issues with this. How about like flying? When you fly to the DR, it just seems like it might be uncomfortable in a standard airline seat.
It is quite uncomfortable. I try to, if there's a person next to me, I try to be at the very end of this row because I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I don't want to be all up in their space. I try and get 2 seats, the Gracie Bond method. But yeah,
okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I take
All right.
a butt
Well,
pillow.
look, we wish you the best and hope you and your doctor are both really looking out for your safety.
Yeah, recovery and my health is the #1 priority.
Okay,
All right.
keep it that way.
All right. Thanks so much, May.
Thank you.
Coming up.
JD Vance,
Vice President JD Vance,
has gone out on a limb that extends a long, long way. He is in many ways comparing himself and the Trump administration to Richard Nixon and his administration.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. JD Vance,
Vice President JD Vance,
has gone out on a limb that extends a long, long way. He is in many ways comparing himself and the Trump administration to Richard Nixon and his administration. He was at the Nixon Library yesterday and said something. When I saw this yesterday, I almost fell out of my chair.
I don't think he realized, I don't think he's thinking what you're thinking when he said it, but I totally get your thinking on this. This is what he had to say about Richard Nixon and his downfall.
I'm actually fascinated by Nixon as a character in history. I think that his historical legacy is enjoying a bit of a renaissance, but I think deservedly so. As I joked with Robert backstage, if Watergate happened tomorrow, it would be like a 12-hour news story. Like the idea that it would have taken down a presidency is crazy. And by the way, if you look at the story of how the deep state took down Richard Nixon, it's not all that different from what the same groups of people, the same institutions tried to do to Donald Trump in the first Trump administration. There is a parallel. I also just, at a personal level, young senator, vice president, writes some best-selling books, is hated by the media. It kind of sounds like JD Vance. So I'm a little, I've always liked Richard Nixon.
There are 3 things here. Let's deal with the first. He is saying that if Watergate happened today, it would be in a 12-hour news cycle, come and gone. That is a statement about the Trump administration.
Saying that the bar now has been lowered or raised or lowered, depending how you want to look at it. But where the bar is now, Watergate just doesn't. Because
they've done things that
are
a
positive thing.
No, it's a negative thing.
Yes, it's a horribly
they
negative
have done
thing.
things there. He's essentially telegraphing, even though he says we laughed about it, that we've done things that were way more corrupt, and Watergate would be 12 hours.
I mean, he didn't say that.
But that's the intimation.
Or he's saying
I don't think
they blew
he realizes
Watergate out of
that
proportion.
intimation.
right? Are he saying that Watergate shouldn't have taken down a president? I think he believes during this critical reappraisal of the Nixon legacy
that's also very problematic to say that.
It's really not, though, because Nixon has been sort of clouded by Watergate to such an extent that we forgot what an incredible statesman he was. Started the EPA, opened China,
People
signed the
all
first
of those things
affirmative
can
action
be true,
executive
but
order.
that doesn't change.
He was undone by one moment. By one moment.
It doesn't change the facts of Watergate.
It
All those
doesn't
things
change
can
the
be
facts.
true.
And by the way,
so that's all we're talking about.
But it doesn't mean it means that we should remember Richard Nixon.
Did Bill Clinton do a lot of good things?
Yes.
Okay.
And we celebrate all the things Bill Clinton did. We don't just think about Monica.
I haven't finished. If you were playing Family Feud, what's the number one thing in the board when you say Bill Clinton?
You think Monica.
You know him.
Yes.
You know Monica.
You know it's the first thing.
It's unfair to the legacy of Richard Nixon to just think of him as he had a career that was decades and decades long.
And this
he was a senator.
And this gets to the second issue, which is the idea that JD Vance would say Nixon was taken down by the deep state is absurd. That if you looked at the Senate Select Committee that held the hearing, you had Sam Ervin, who was an established Democrat. You had Howard Baker, who was the lead Republican. And they were the ones grilling in public for all America to see, and they were riveted. All of these people who were not part of the deep state, his chief of staff, his henchman, his lawyer, the guy who knew about the recordings. That was not deep state. That was Richard Nixon.
So you know why he's saying that?
Yes,
he's saying it like that because he knows that the MAGA base isn't going to look up all that information. They're just going to take JD at his word that Nixon got screwed over just like
he needs more than the MAGA base. And I think it shocked me. This is a terrible play for him.
That he's going to need, eventually he's going to need more than the MAGA base.
Well, I think it's going to hurt him. And I think it's going to.
The single most incredible thing about this is that he compares himself favorably to Richard Nixon. This would be unthinkable even a decade ago to someone who is positioning themselves as potentially assuming the presidency and running for president. Jonah, comparing himself to Richard Nixon.
Play the clip. Play the clip, Jonah.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
You got a president telling the nation, I'm not a crook.
And that's the guy you want to...
Seriously?
You know he did that at Disneyland, too. It was about taxes.
Seriously?
He's comparing himself to... He says, look, we're alike. And the idea that that's okay and that someone with ambitions to become president could say that, it's pretty striking.
Do you know who loves this clip, I think, secretly?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Oh, yes.
Marco Rubio.
Do you think, because he thinks it hurts him? And he wants to
how it ultimately is going to help
him. I'm not sure anymore.
I mean,
he is very savvy, though. One thing I know about JD Vance is aligning yourself as in opposition to the media worked very, very well for Donald Trump, and he's trying to position himself in the same way and saying, I'm a guy who wrote best-selling books and the media hates. Aren't I the next in line?
No, he's saying...
That's what Nixon was, too.
No, he's saying, I'm the guy who was a young senator who's written best-selling books, just like Richard Nixon. He's saying, I'm Nixon... in 2026.
That's right.
Just without the Watergate.
Yes, I'm Nixon without Watergate, so I'm all the statesman qualities without the corruption.
But I am attached to all the other things that have happened in the Trump administration.
He's saying, I'm Nixon without Watergate.
He's Agnew.
I'm Nixon without Watergate, but a lot worse because these things get more than 12-hour news cycles. I mean, that's what he's saying.
It's breathtaking.
No, it's
breathtaking.
It's insane.
We'll see.
Hi, my name is India. I live in Santa Barbara, and I just think it's so wild, like hearing him say those things, like JD couch loving Vance. It's just insane. Like Nixon has been involved with like secret bombings of Cambodia, so like Nixon is not perfect, and JD Vance and that administration is way worse. Like the Supreme Cheeto Puff in office right now has 34 felony convictions. Like the 25th should have been invoked on him. He should have been kicked out. Like he's the type of old man you see screaming at a cloud that you got to be like, let's get this man.
Coming up, the man who was charged with the Palisades fire, well, he did not get a verdict today. The jury came back and said, we are deadlocked. A mistrial was declared.
And not just deadlocked, it was 10-2 in favor of ruling not guilty.
Be right back.
Well, the trial that all of LA was waiting to see how it turned out, the man who was charged with the Palisades fire, for starting the Palisades fire, Jonathan Rinderknecht, did not get a verdict today. The jury came back and said, we are deadlocked. A mistrial was declared.
And not just deadlocked, it was 10-2 in
Not
favor
guilty.
of ruling not guilty. Not guilty. And everybody thought, oh, well, they caught the guy.
Right.
But the problem in this case was
physical
that
evidence.
There, if you will, there was smoke but no fire. That you have him around the area where the fire started. He had, I believe, lighter fluid in his car, but there is no video of him lighting the fire. They said, well, he was angry and that he had some motive to do it.
They kind of laid out why he might fit the profile of someone who would do this.
But the jury
they
saying,
didn't have
they
him
didn't have
actually
the goods.
doing it.
They didn't have the goods.
And so they've declared a mistrial, but the prosecutors have already said that they are going to retry this. They want a new jury, and they're going to try this again.
Now, this is really an interesting case legally because there was, I hate using fire metaphors, but it's just true that the prosecution, a lot of people think we're just fanning the flames here and wanting to get revenge on somebody held responsible for it.
And a lot of people felt that the word scapegoat was used, that he is a patsy, and that it would take the heat. There you go again.
I know.
Take the heat off of city and state officials for what wasn't, for not being prepared.
And so this was the pound of flesh that they not only didn't get, but again, if it's, 10 for finding him guilty, that's one thing. But 10 out of 12 said not guilty.
Isn't it reckless and a waste of money? I mean, you're going to go through this whole lengthy trial again. It costs resources, time to try this again. It seems crazy to me.
It's going to be really interesting because, I mean, if I was, reporting this where I could, find somebody from the federal prosecutor's office, I would ask them, what are you going to do differently? Do you have something different? Because if you're not going to do anything differently, why are you making an assumption that the 10 would now switch to guilty? What more do you have that you didn't present?
Right.
I don't know that they have anything.
It sounds like they should have never even brought the case to begin with or wait until it was more buttoned up and they had actual physical evidence, if it exists.
This is troublesome.
It's
this just feels troublesome.
It's almost like they felt like because everyone is so upset about the fire, if we present someone to them who fits the bill,
they'll just get the conviction.
They'll get the conviction because they felt like the anger over the fire would.
Right. Now the government's in a tough spot, right? Because people want to pound the flesh.
But now the government's embarrassed.
Yeah.
And now the question is, are they refiling out of embarrassment or because they really believe
But
he
the only
did
thing worse is you get the same result again, and it's doubly embarrassing, right?
Exactly.
Coming up.
Well, the newlywed JWoww, has some very stern words for some of her friends at Jersey Shore.
You get what you deserve.
Be right back.
Well, the newlywed JWoww, has some very stern words for some of her friends at Jersey Shore, the ones who were not at her wedding. If you missed this, she and her now husband told about 50 friends.
God, is he tall?
Yeah. Told 50 friends that they were having a party for a premiere for a movie that she's going to be in. And they were going to have a screening. Well, it turns out what they were actually doing was
surprise
wedding. And there were some members of the Jersey Shore cast who were not there. Some were invited, others actually were not invited. And she heard on social media and on our site that some of them were very upset, that were pissed off they were left out off the list. Last night, she had a message for them.
If you were a true friend, if you were a true family member, none of this would be public right now. You would have came to me. But you can't come to me because then you can't play victim to your own fake-ass narrative. But the people that are talking and creating these anonymous threads and these anonymous tabloid things are the whole reason why they weren't invited. So I'm saying this once, and I'm saying it with my whole chest. You get what you deserve. You will never succeed in life.
This is thirst.
It doesn't make you that tough, by the way.
I am telling you.
Why do it with that voice?
No, this is thirst. That First of all, she just got married, and now she's just going off on social media, upset that other people are commenting about this, which is what other people do.
No,
It's not the commenting.
You didn't watch the whole video. First of all, to explain the Minnie Mouse voice is it was sped up, so it sounded ridiculous.
I know, but why did she do that?
I think to just fit it in, because it was a 3-minute video. So there's 4 Jersey Shore people who didn't make the wedding.
2 that didn't go and 2 that didn't get invited.
Holly and Vinny were invited, didn't go.
Right.
Angelina and Ronnie were not invited.
Right.
So obviously we do this story, and then there's all this stuff on the internet, and she's just upset.
But that's what I'm saying.
But she's upset that this is my wedding day. Why are you guys complaining?
Angelina and Ronnie, that's who she's
I
pissed
know
at.
this.
Anyway.
I'm upset.
Coming up. Chet Hanks has himself a new gig as a spokesperson, as a model, spokesmodel, really, for a product that I'm not sure that this is a compliment to him, but it's definitely hysterical.
Be right back.
So Chet Hanks has himself a new gig as a spokesperson, as a model, spokesmodel, really, for a product that I'm not sure that this is a compliment to him, but it's definitely hysterical. So he is now the spokesman for Julie, the morning after pill.
And the notion is that you could end up kind of like his dad.
What? No, Tom Hanks is at home saying, leave me out of this. I have nothing to do with it. No, this is more about Chet.
I know, but
this is about that Chet's a good time, but not a long time. Is not the person that you want to be attached to for 18 years.
Okay, I'm not gonna pursue my point that I made, but I still stick with it. But it's hysterical. I love him. I think he's like a really cool, fun guy.
I think it's cool that he understands when someone's taken the you-know-what out of him. And he's on board and
he's
leans
totally
into
on
it.
board. I
Yes.
love the guy.
He's fun.
Have a great weekend, everybody.